What's up, everybody? It's been a while. It's probably been about a year, I believe, since I posted anything on YouTube. Um, and I'm glad that I withheld in my posting in YouTube because a lot of stuff happened. A lot of things happened that probably wouldn't have been positive for me to share and expound upon. And I wanted my first video back in so long, first time in so long since I've done so many videos. I wanted it to be worthwhile, and I wanted to share a secret in production, the secret to success in production, in fact. And the secret to success in production is that they have to like you. And the ability in which they like you will determine the amount of success in which you have in the industry. That's a fact. That is a fact. And it's indeed what I've struggled with the most. Because where I myself am concerned, I'm very happy with where I am. You know, I'm happy with the amount of work that I get. I'm happy with the way that I'm treated for the most part. You know, I'd like a lot more electrician and call steward positions my damn self with someone who's been around as long as I have. I think I'm worthy and deserving of it, but for some reason the powers that be disagree. But one thing I found is that if you wait long enough, if you hold out long enough, people don't last forever. They don't live forever. They don't stay in the same positions forever. And sooner or later, you're going to have people in power that recognize you, that recognize what you bring to the table, and that that give you a more favorable position that knows that do not do so. Over the summer, not last summer, but the summer before, there was an individual that MF'd my wife up one side and down the other. And I almost took to YouTube and expounded upon that. I'm glad that I didn't. Now, he still has a job, and that's unfortunate, because had he done that to anyone else other than Maria or myself, he would not have a job. And we'll see how the new BA treats him in terms of whether or not they think that he should have one. We'll see. But even the previous business agent's son, his damn self, agreed that had he done that to anyone else other than my wife or myself, he would no longer have a job in that company, with that union, with that local. And it's unfortunate that somebody could treat a family member of mine that way, knowing how important family is in this industry, how much family matters in this industry. And to know that they could treat somebody that way with little regard of consequence. Rumor has it he got a 60-day suspension, but I mean, what is that in the overall scope of things? He should have been done. He should have been done. If you address a union member using profanity, then that's it. That ought to be the end of your existence within the employment in the local. It's amazing how much things have changed in the 23 years that I've been in the industry. You know, when I first came in, I once referred to union members as made men. I called them made men, as you would refer to made men in the mafia. because you had to treat them with pretty much an equivalent amount of respect, really. I mean, you couldn't, you know, you don't just treat a made man any which way. And you certainly don't do that in a union house. You don't treat a made man any which way. You know, you don't cuss at them. You don't talk down to them. You don't treat them with what most people would consider a disrespectful tone. You just don't do it. Not if you value your future and your career in the industry. You just don't do it. But that's changed. You can come in and you can disrespect the made man, depending on who that made man is, depending on where they sit with the powers that be of the current power structure of the local, which changes every so many years at least. And especially when you're forming a new local, when people are afraid to step up, you know, when they feel like maybe they don't have a ground to stand on, or those that step up realize that that is their ground to stand on. You know? But the number one most important aspect of how far you go in this industry is whether or not they like you. You know, how likable are you? How likable is your personality? Are you somebody that someone can get along with 8, 10, 12-hour days or more? Are you going to handle certain issues professionally and amicably? Or are you going to be an embarrassment to the local and to your union brothers and sisters? I have to say I've never been an embarrassment to my union brothers and sisters in the way that I've conducted myself on the call, I must say, in comparison to others. And it's one of the reasons why I've lasted 23 years in counting, is because it's not a difficult industry to persevere. If you show up in time and you have a good attitude and the appropriate tools, and you know, after a while your reputation precedes you. People know your name before they know you, before they know your face and personality, as my buddy Don likes to say. So, you know, if you know your stuff and you show up and you have a good attitude and you have the appropriate tools and you don't cross certain lines, it's a pretty fairly easy industry to persevere in. And, you know, certainly it amazes me the number of people that have vacated the industry in the past couple of years. It's amazing because the majority of the people in the industry right now have 5 years or less in the business of work experience. I mean, I went from, in a very short period of time, being a junior to being like a mid-level senior guy, kind of, sort of, you know, to being like, there aren't too many people that have been around longer than I have to continue to take work on a regular basis. You know, and pretty soon, within another 10 years or so, I'm going to be one of those guys, if I'm still around, God willing, on my way out. And other youngins will say, you know, I remember when I came in, he was the man, he was the senior. And, you know, here I am. I'm going into my own tenure, my own story within the union conglomerate, which isn't going to go away, by the way. You know, people can talk and say what they want about union politics changing, and indeed there are a lot of things in the industry that concern me. The company that I work for is buying up labor companies, Something Fierce, And if unions don't make a stand and make sure that they're treated with adequate respect, we're going to get trampled on. And that's something that I hope to expound upon a little bit here on this channel at a later point in time. But I did just want to jump on and say hello to everybody, and I hope everyone's doing well. If you're on Facebook, check out my Facebook page, Amish Country Stagehands. It's where I update concert pics, both that I attend as a patron and that I work as a stagehand. And this year, I hope to do a little bit more with this channel in terms of more frequent posts and things of that nature. They're just going to be very selective in terms of content. I think it's pretty much going to be gig pics and collages, video collages, set with, royalty-free music for your viewing pleasure and enjoyment. And, keep it a little less controversial and a little less talking about controversial things. I do want to take time to discuss industry-related material because I think it's not being discussed in other places in social media. I don't know if I could. I'll give you an example. Somebody posted a question on a Facebook page. I work for a production company, Frezza Lighting Guy, and when I'm done with my set of responsibilities, am I expected to stick around and help other departments until they're done with theirs, yada, yada, yada. Well, this was asked on a union site, and right away, you have the guys that like to latch onto the union twang, and they say, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. But the brothers that I would be inclined to agree with, they said, you know what? In other businesses, in construction, would you finish in your department and then go and help in other departments? No, probably not, right? So, unless there's extenuating circumstances, in most cases, when you're done with your department, you're done. Unless it's a company expectation that you assist other departments. Your obligation is fulfilled, especially in a union house. I think that, the less we fight for those types of rights, we finished our department, we're done, we can go home. The more we're going to find ourselves at a disadvantage, especially working at places that are quickly becoming the epitome of the industry, the tone setter of the industry. How are we then going to sit across the table from the companies in which we work, working for the epitome of the industry, who allows their loaders to roll over his hands, etc., things of that nature. So I hope to expand on this and more in the coming days. But I did want to reach out and wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I hope that everyone's doing well, and I hope that you enjoy the viewing pleasure of the videos that I'm about to post here. Happy New Year. Stay safe.